30th of September, 2025, the last day of September. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, whatever time it is where you are, and wherever you are. And I'm going to talk to you about stuff, in this case, Bitcoin. And yes, this is one of those videos where I'm going to tell you something that I warned you would happen, and that happened. So let's get right into it. For those of you who've been here for a while, you know that for years I've been telling you that if and when we get an ETF in Bitcoin, we would see a pretty significant piling on of large holders acquiring more and more Bitcoin. And even without an ETF, we would see a continuation, of large holders buying significant amounts of Bitcoin. And what has been happening in the last years? Well, we've seen companies like Strategy and MetaPlanet and BlackRock, all these large companies, JP Morgan, well, any number of large companies, even small companies who have large treasuries, acquiring as much Bitcoin as they possibly could. We've seen Bitcoin transfer into the hands of significant holders. So people, once upon a time, when Bitcoin began, it was entirely in the hands of retail holders. It was not in the hand of institutional holders because no institutions would touch this stuff. And then slowly but surely, and then not so slowly and surely, and now extremely quickly and surely, we see that Bitcoin is mostly held by people with 1,000 or more Bitcoins in a single wallet. And when I say mostly, I mean 90% of all the Bitcoin that could ever be mined, all 21 million of them, are in the hands and in the wallets that hold 1,000 or more Bitcoins in an individual wallet. Keep in mind, Satoshi Nakamoto, the inventor of Bitcoin, doesn't even have 1,000 Bitcoins in a single wallet. Because Satoshi had this system of automatically creating a new wallet every time he would mine a block. So he has 50 thousands and thousands of wallets with 50 Bitcoins in them. I mean, are there a few here and there that have a little bit more, a little bit less? Sure. But generally speaking, he never made a wallet and intentionally put more than 1,000 Bitcoin in it. So technically speaking, Satoshi is not on that whale list, even though Satoshi still, to this day, owns more Bitcoin than anyone, with more than an estimated more than 1 million Bitcoins in total. And that said, again, 90% of all the Bitcoins are in the wallets that include 1,000 or more Bitcoins in them. And 95% are in the wallets that contain 100 or more Bitcoins in them, which means that only 5% of the remaining Bitcoin that could ever be mined or that's already mined or whatever, only 5% of the Bitcoin, because there's not much difference between what's already mined and what has yet to be mined, right? There's for another 115 years, we're going to be mining less than 2 million Bitcoin in total out of the 21 million. Because more than 19 million has already been mined. Which means that all of retail has 5% or less of all the Bitcoin that could ever be mined or is mined or whatever. I told you guys at the onset of the ETF craze at the beginning of 2024, just some 20 months ago, that this is exactly what we're going to see happening. I told you this before the ETFs, long before, years before. Again, I said with or without ETFs, we're going to see an increased acquisition by whales to do this. And we are now at the point where, if you look at the latest reports from Metaplanet or BlackRock, MicroStrategy, or 21 Capital, whenever they announce however much Bitcoin they have or have recently acquired, you can see very, very clearly prices that they're paying on average, what their premium is for what they paid, and the fact that they're paying over the counter premiums to acquire this stuff means they are going to the ends of the earth to find the Bitcoins that are satisfactory in number for them to keep reaching for their goal. So in the case of MicroStrategy and BlackRock, 21 Capital, we know they each want 1 million Bitcoins. Maybe they want more, but that's their current goal. In other cases, some people want a little bit less. Some companies want a little bit, like Metaplanet hasn't said that they actually been trying to get to 1 million, but they've got whatever it is, 20,000 now. And sure, that's a far different scale than like BlackRock or MicroStrategy that buy like sometimes 20,000 in a month, right? But we see that the large wallet holders are acquiring this stuff at a pace that is so vast that you probably have missed your boat on this stuff when it comes to acquiring a significant number, if that's your intention. Like, even if you're a significant, and that doesn't mean that there's no more available. No, there's clearly more available. There's 1 million and some that have yet to be mined. So of course there's some available. But do you think that you could actually buy all of the Bitcoin that's being mined from the miners? You're going to have to pay a heck of a premium to get it out of their hands. Just look at the premiums that are being paid by the current big buyers. So they're paying a lot of money for the Bitcoins they're buying now. The supply shock is real. And I'm not here to tell you, oh, this means you got to go all in now. No, I'm not here to tell you that. I'm here to tell you that for the most part, most people have missed the boat. And now, if the world is ever to go to a Bitcoin standard, so to speak, you'll be lucky if you have 0.5% of a Bitcoin, or 1% of a Bitcoin, if you can be so lucky. I know it sounds crazy, but it is incredibly scarce. Sure, you can get it in trading, you can get it in any number of ways. You can still go out and buy it from many exchanges. You can want to buy 0.5% or 1% or even a whole one, no problem. But time is running out in terms of the ease of access at such prices. You're not going to see these prices for a very long time, in all probability, is my guess. In 5 to 10 years, we will probably be well above where we are now. And of course, it's a very long term. I understand that. But within 5 to 10 years from now, which is just a little bit more, a little bit less, or a little bit more than half of the lifespan that Bitcoins currently have, we will be seeing significantly higher prices once again, because returns are likely to increase once again over those 5 to 10 years, making the assets even harder for most people to acquire. So, not investment advice, just pointing out the fact.